All right, all right, all right. Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? No, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it at all. What the hell? It's not it. Remember, the opinion you follow is only your own. This is a complete stranger. I'm like, no, that's not it either. All right, that's not it either. That's not it. That's not it. What is it again? Oh, I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Hey everybody, this is your boy Blood coming at you with another video. No, that's not it. It's not it either. No, it's not it. The opinion should follow is only your own. No, that's not it either. I found it. There it is. I found the script. Thanks to those joining me live and to those joining me on archive. DStyleBoxing here. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. If you're watching archive, hit that notification button so you get that notification every time DStyleBoxing comes on live. Right? The chat is open. Right? I just thought, you know what? I'm going to come on here. I'm just going to talk some boxing. That's all I'm going to do. Right? And the title of the video is, It's Only Boxing, People. Relax. Right? It is unbelievable to me. It honestly is how personal shit could get on YouTube. It's unbelievable to me, honestly. Right? This is insane. Honestly. It's just boxing. Right? And you know what I think some people can use? You know what will be healthy for them? You know, start talking about what you think about boxing and not about what others think about boxing. That will go a long way. And they can just let people decide who they want to watch. You see, that would go a long way. Unfortunately, that's not the place that we're at right now in this boxing community, if you even want to call it that. Right? This AJ Wilder thing is like so real. It's unbelievable. Like honestly, it's I don't. The fight's not as big as Pacquiao Mayweather was, but it's the rivalry is real. Like, you know, it's real, and it is unbelievable to me. It's just as a spectator watching a lot of shit unravel. Right? Some masks have come off even. Right? And it's unbelievable to me. I wanted to make a point, and I've made this point before, and it's about, yes, okay, about Wilder's Joshua. Right? And the more I keep hearing, no, don't talk about it, the more I'm going to talk about it. Okay? The more I hear, no, but you don't understand. Like, you can tell me whatever you want, right? I'm going to keep talking about it. I'm going to keep hammering and hammering the fucking fight. Because I'm a boxing fan, and I'm hell-bent on wanting to see this fight, right? That's why. But check this out, right? A couple things. And it's something I keep hearing. You know, it is totally possible. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, right? It's totally possible to like both fighters. Like, I don't know if that's like a, you know, that's possible. It's also totally possible to have nuance here, right? So I've spent a lot of time, since I want to practice what I preach, I spent a lot of time talking about what other people are saying about the fight. Okay? Because I found it interesting, and I'm admitting that. Right? But let me spend more time telling you what I think. Right? And I have done that, but I want to just concentrate on just that. All right. And you don't have to agree with me. All right. You could thumbs down the video if you want. You could do whatever you want. Right. You could leave a comment. You could disagree. You could say, nah, nah, hell nah, whatever you want. But listen, all you have to do is listen. Right. This is a very reasonable position, I believe, anyway. Right. In this whole ordeal. Okay. Now, so let's look at each guy. Both guys had their own path, okay? I've been watching boxing long enough to know, right, that when a fighter turns to the point where they turn pro up until the point that they become a contender, right, not every fighter is groomed exactly the same, right? Some are, out of the amateurs they're ready for, high level competition. Some are not, and that's okay, right? Fighters in many ways are like alcohol. What? Yes, right? So some alcohol could take longer, to brew than others. Okay, longer to make than others. Some have to be stored longer. Some are like fine wine, and some are just like cheap liquor, but they're still good. I mean, cheap as in price, right? And they're ready to rock. But every fighter is different, right? The path that Wilder took is different than the path that AJ took, all right? But here's what I know. Here's all I know is that their paths are going to clash, and they should clash. They should. And it's okay to say that. It's okay to say, I want to see Wilder versus Joshua, and then explain why whatever fan base is annoying you, okay? But it's okay to say that, right? Joshua and Wilder had, their own path, right? Joshua had a fast track path. So meaning Joshua turned pro at a very late age. He took up boxing. He became a gold medalist, right? And he has the backing of his country. That's something Wilder doesn't have, right? Joshua is, in all honesty, and it's all deserved. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve this, but since the time he turned pro, and it has a lot to do with his success in the amateurs, right, has had a large following in the UK. And let's say it's well earned, because it is, right? And that aside, he went through his pro ranks, and if we're honest, beat a very weak titleist, right? But then ended up fighting, obviously we know the White fight, and then of course Vladimir Klitschko, right? And that's the path that Joshua took. It was a much faster path. Deontay Wilder also took up the sport very late. Keep in mind, none of these two guys, all right, none of them have the story where they were boxing from the age of 6, and to be honest, the days of heavyweights being brought up since the age of 6 boxing, that's a dying breed, man. Like, it's in the U.S., it's dead, right? But nonetheless, Deontay Wilder is another fighter that picked up the sport late. And of course, when you compare it to Joshua's story, who won a gold medal and in dominating fashion, of course you can shit on the story of Wilder if you want. But the Bronze Bomber did win a bronze medalist, after just being in boxing a few years. That is still impressive. Most people cannot do that, right? And of course, he turned pro. And of course, he fought who he fought. Like, it's nobody fights world beaters when they first turn pro, right? And the way they brought him up and built him up is it was a longer process, right? He did eventually get a title shot. Vitaly, if he would have stuck around, there's a good possibility we could have seen Vitaly versus Wilder, right? Vitaly did retire. At that point, they did Stavern versus Ariola. I believe it was a rematch, okay, that dictated that fight, and then Wilder beat Stavern, okay, for the championship. Now, since then, a lot of things have happened. I keep hearing people say things like, well, why didn't Wilder fight Klitschko when he had the chance? He had all these years to fight Klitschko, right? Now, number one, I'm not saying that that's not a valid point, but what I will say is that you're not really looking at the timeline, right? Meaning, Vladimir Klitschko was in a much better place in his career, meaning undefeated for 10 years, when Wilder was, not even a titleist yet, okay? And Klitschko was a defeated fighter at the hands of Tyson Fury, right, when Joshua got the opportunity to fight him, right? Also, there was a lot of money to be made in the UK that had a lot to do with the fight with Klitschko happening as well, right? Now, the fact that Wilder doesn't have that big of a fan base, all right, like here's the astonishing part to me. Wilder doesn't have a big fan base, right? Like, yeah, he'll pack an arena in Alabama, maybe not sell it out, but he'll pack it, okay? He'll get a decent rating on TV here in the U.S., but nothing impressive, right? Now, people say they like to see knockout artists. I mean, he's knocking dudes out. I don't know what else they want. But okay, fine. Let's say it's because if you don't like Wilder, you're going to come up with every reason in the book to say that he's not a big name because X. Okay, or whatever, right? Let's put that aside. The reality is that Anthony Joshua, okay, his run was faster and, in my opinion, more impressive. You see, right? But it doesn't mean that Wilder is a complete bum, right? That's not what that means, right? I honestly believe Joshua is just a better athlete than Wilder. Okay, I think he's more gifted than Wilder. That doesn't mean he'll beat Wilder in the fight, because I believe they're both at a point in their career where Wilder is now ready to fight the top competition. It wasn't 4 years ago, right? It wasn't 3 years ago. Right now, he's ready right now. And what I keep hearing, that this is just me, right, is, and I know I said I was going to bring up what other people say, but I just want to make this point. I keep hearing, well, now that Joshua, took all the risk, and by the way, he took one, maybe two calculated risk, right? If we're real, okay, like it was a calculated risk, the Klitschko fight, right? Klitschko he did not look that good against Jennings, right? He did get defeated by Tyson Fury, right? And I'm not taking away the win, right? But it's not the same Klitschko from 3 years ago, right? That's just the reality. It's not. So how long has, I keep hearing people say, well, Joshua, started boxing when Deontay Wilder turned into a pro, right? Well, the only problem with that is that, first of all, Wilder wasn't an amateur for that long. Okay, that's number one, right? Secondly, and even this is me even conceding the obvious that he did it in a shorter time frame, right? But look at the time frame from when Joshua turned pro to when he fought for a world title. Well, look at the champion he fought as number one. But let's put that aside. when he fought Klitschko. If you take those same amount of years and you place that on Wilder, okay, from when he turned pro, Klitschko was a dominant champion then, right? He was. And at the time, Wilder wasn't holding a strap. He wasn't a champion, right? I'm talking about that time frame. So to say that, well, he had to fight Klitschko, well, maybe he just didn't feel he was ready yet, right? Now, I don't know that, okay, but I think common sense tells you that. Wilder wasn't ready for Klitschko, right? I believe he would have fought Klitschko. I mean, keep in mind, they were trying to do the Tyson Fury fight, but we all know what happened to Tyson Fury, folks, okay? Tyson Fury is over there, battling demons and shit. We know what's happening over there. So it is totally possible and reasonable, okay, to concede certain points, all right? It's okay to say that maybe Wilder just didn't feel ready for Klitschko, all right, 4 or 5 years into him being a pro, all right? It's okay to say that, and it's totally fine. It's okay to say the obvious, that it took Wilder longer to build himself as a fighter than it did Joshua, all right? It's okay to say these things. But at the end of the day, their roads are clashing now, right? Like, regardless of, one guy took the longer highway, okay, the other guy took the interstate, but nonetheless, they're going to clash. Or they should clash, right? They should fight. It doesn't matter to me. It's boxing is a a boxing career is a long marathon, right? That's what it is. And so this idea that, well, one guy sprinted faster than the other, their careers are not over, right? If they were to fight, let's just say this. If Joshua were to fight Deontay Wilder, and Wilder was, let's say they fight in 2018, right? If Wilder beats Joshua, the moment he beats him, Wilder will have a more impressive victory on his resume than Anthony Joshua has on his resume, okay? Instantly. The moment that happens. Now, so someone say, no, come on. A victory over Klitschko is bigger. Well, we got to put it in perspective. Klitschko was 40 years old, right? I think a victory over the guy that beat Klitschko, even at that point of his career, is more impressive. So, like, how exactly is, like, Klitschko's retired, right? So it's not like Wilder could fight Klitschko. And if Wilder were to fight White, I don't care what anybody says. If he would have done that fight, okay, they would have been criticizing him for not fighting Ortiz, and everybody knows, right? And of course, you have Joseph Parker, right? And like Mr. Boxing Today says, shout out to his channel, by the way, we have 3 undefeated world champions at heavyweights. We should be asking for these guys to fight each other, right? No, we should demand that they fight each other. Now, let me ask you a serious question. What is so bad about demanding that these fights happen? What's so bad about that? How is that almost every time I do a video, right, there's at least that one person that keeps trying to argue, and they just think it never fails. Somebody always misses the point. Every single time. It never fails. Like, they miss the entire point. They make it about who needs more and who needs to fight more than the other. And it's, don't you guys understand that who needs it more is irrelevant? They both need it, right? Just like we all need water. If I haven't drank any in 7 hours and you've drank some recently, it doesn't change the fact that we're both going to need it at some point. Okay? Both guys need H2O. Both guys need each other, right? Regardless. You could sit down and argue about if, let's say hypothetically, let's say the fight does not happen, right? If the fight doesn't happen, that is a failure in the part of boxing as a sport. That is a failure. That is a complete, utter failure. And that will be an asterisk on both guys' names. Especially if they retire undefeated. Okay? They need to fight each other. It needs to happen. You know, people could throw at me all day. Oh no, but the names. Look, let me put it to you this way. Jermaine Taylor had just defeated the legend Bernard Hopkins twice in controversial fashion, but he beat him twice. The guy who had 20 title defenses at middleweight, right? Kelly Pavlik didn't have a title. Kelly Pavlik didn't have this unbelievable resume. Jermaine Taylor obviously had the better resume, but it was the fight to make, right? It was the fight to make, and everybody knew it. And guess what? Pavlik won that fight. He won both times, actually, right? Jermaine Taylor could have said, no, well, who's Pavlik? Who's Pavlik? He beat Miranda, but what has Miranda done? He's not even a champion. What the hell has he done? Why should I fight Pavlik? I beat Hopkins. Why didn't he fight Hopkins when he had the chance? All of a sudden, I beat Hopkins. All of a sudden, Pavlik wants to fight me. Yeah, it's totally possible, people, that 3-4 years ago, Wilder did not feel he was ready for Klitschko. But right now, he feels he's ready for Joshua. Both those things are possible. Right? It's not out of the realm of possibility. It just isn't out of the realm of possibility. It isn't. And no one's saying there's no room for criticism or no room to critique this and critique that. That's not my point. I'm not trying to debate anybody on who has a better resume. All right? I'm not trying to debate anybody on who needs it more. Because regardless of who needs it more, they both need it. And most importantly, fuck them. Boxing needs it. And yes, boxing fans can demand fights. They can. Don't sit around in your pompous attitude saying boxing fans shouldn't ask for this, shouldn't ask for that. Why the fuck not? We could ask for whatever the fuck we want. And if your argument is, well, it's not like you're going to make a difference. Nobody listens to what you have to say. Well, if that's your argument, then stop fucking getting upset when a fan base says something then. You can't have it both ways. I don't give a shit, right, on who's been more impressive till now. You know how we're going to know who's a better fighter? You know how we know? When they get in the ring. And sometimes someone who's a better fighter overall can lose to a particular opponent because they can have their number. That can happen. All right? It's possible that Wilder can beat Joshua, but Joshua could beat guys that beat Wilder. That's possible. We're not going to find out unless Joshua and Wilder and Joseph Parker fight each other. That's the only way we're going to find out. We're not going to determine who's better, okay, in hypotheticals. We're not going to determine who's better, okay, pulling out BoxRec and doing YouTube videos. We're not going to determine who's better that way. Coming on here debating people. That's not going to determine who's better. All right? Because boxing is about who's better that night. Who's better that night? And this is fucking heavyweights. One punch can change everything. And yes, both guys hit hard. You see, this is the thing. I constantly hear people trying to say things like, Joshua doesn't, Waters doesn't hit that hard. He just knocked out a bunch of bums. Well, there's only one way to find out how hard he hits. Let's see him hit Joshua. And maybe Joshua eats the right hand. You know? Maybe he just eats that shit like it's a candy bar and he just beats the shit out of Wilder. Who knows? But let's see it happen. Are you getting what I'm saying now? I don't give a shit who deserves it more and who brings in more money and all that shit. I'm a boxing fan, and I want to see that fight. That's it. Honestly, that's it. Like, it's not that complicated. It's been, people have made it complicated, like more complicated than what it has to be. People pull out resumes and shit. First of all, both guys have whack-ass resumes. Are you kidding me? If you compare both guys to all-time heavyweights, they're both weak. Get the fuck out of here. All right? Are you kidding me? But that doesn't matter. Now, if they fight each other, like if you have three undefeated heavyweight champions all fight one another, then maybe they'll start building up that resume. Then maybe we could start comparing them to some all-time greats. We can't do that if they don't fight each other. We can't do that. We just can't do that. There's nothing wrong with fans pressuring fighters to fight. Okay? I know some of you live in the delusional world that you don't believe that there's a such thing as fan pressure. There is. Okay? There is. You don't think Joshua... Why can't Joshua stop talking about Wilder? Why can't he stop talking about him? Every time I turn around, there's an interview of Joshua about Wilder. Trying to explain to everybody how Wilder's desperate, Wilder's this, Wilder's that. Why do they keep asking him about a Wilder? Because there's a grapevine. Okay? Word gets out there. Right? Fighters don't like hearing that there's some people out there that feel, hey, maybe this guy could beat you. They don't like hearing that stuff. Right? Of course they're hearing about it. Of course they do. When Canelo was constantly being asked about Gennady Golovkin nonstop by if you want to call them press in the U.S., but especially the Mexican press, he always got irritated and he kept talking about the business. Es un negocio, And they kept asking him over and over and over and over again. It got to the point where Oscar De La Hoya went on ESPN and promised everybody that he'll make the fight next year. Right? That's pressure. Public demand makes fights happen. Now, it's not the only thing that makes fights happen because we get a lot of fights we don't fucking want. Okay, I get that. But every time I turn around, there's some fucking bozo saying, oh, you shouldn't ask for shit. Who do you think you are? A boxing fan? Yeah, I'm a fucking boxing fan. All right? And I want to see the best fight the best. That's what I want to see. I don't want to come on here and play pretend. I already told you guys this. Just tell you that everything's great. There's a lot of good. This has been a pretty decent year for boxing. It's been a good year. I'm not going to say it hasn't. Right? We've had some good fights and great knockouts. It's been a good year. But anyone who doesn't believe it can be better is crazy. There's a lot of things boxing can do better. A lot of things. Right? A lot of things. You can't just put a bandage on shit and then just hope it sticks. That's not the way it works. Boxing has diseases. There's fucking diseases in the sport. Like the sanctioning bodies. There's too many of them. All right? Like every single one of those sanctioning bodies is a fucking gallstone. We got to get rid of as many as possible. They're like kidney stones. The more we get rid of, the better. Nah, but everything's great. Yeah, it hurts a little, but, you know, you're not dead. You're able to take a piss. Are you kidding me? The Overton window has been shifted so out of whack, right? So out of whack that people think, you know, you get one good month of fights and everybody thinks like everything's great. Attention, people. Attention. They're supposed to give us great fights. Okay? They're supposed to put elite fighters against elite fighters for us. They're supposed to do that. Stop praising the mailman for delivering the mail. Okay? It's what they're supposed to do. But the day that I see boxing, all right, consistently be more consistent, and the more I see unifications, the more I see the best fighting the best, the more of it, the better. You can never get enough of it. There's no such thing as, okay, I'm good. Right? That's not the way it is. What else can we talk about? What else can we talk about? Huh? I just got a message from a friend. She's really, really sick. Everybody send out some prayers for her if you can. Right? Let me tell you guys this, okay? Let me say this. Boxing to me, all right? This is what boxing is to me, okay? Let me just lay it out for you. Boxing is something that literally fell in my lap, right? As a young little kid, I fell in love with the sport. I know that boxing at its best is better than any other sport in the world. I know that, right? I know that when boxing delivers, it's better than, in my opinion, right? It's better than any other form of entertainment in the world when it's at its purest form. There is nothing like watching a fight and not believing what the fuck you're watching. There's nothing like that. There's nothing like that feeling you get when one of your favorite fighters is about to fight. Okay? There's nothing like it. Now, I don't know how many of you are new to boxing or not. I don't know how many of you are. Okay? But mark my word, if you're new to boxing and you're a big Wilder fan or a big AJ fan, when they're both standing in the ring and they're clearing out that ring, all right? Right when that bell rings, that weird feeling in your stomach they're going to get, right? There's nothing like it. Nothing. No amount of YouTube videos, arguing with people, not wanting to see other people's satisfaction in case your favorite fighter loses. None of it's worth it. Okay? That feeling of excitement right before the bell, and anyone who's been watching boxing long enough knows exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. When you know that the two best are about to fight, and then right before that bell rings, and you're like, holy shit, it's about to go down. There is nothing like that feeling. Nothing. People got it before Tyson fights. Right? People felt that when Hearns was going to fight Leonard. It's just a feeling you get, right? I mean, it doesn't even have to be that big of a fight. But nonetheless, if you don't feel that, then you're missing out. But that's me, right? Wanting that, that's why I want the fight. That's why I want the fight. Because everybody knows the moment that bell rings, then all the words spoken on YouTube don't mean shit. They don't mean shit. The resumes don't mean shit. None of it means anything once that bell rings. None of it. We'll talk about that after the fight, but during the fight, there's nothing like it. See, it's only boxing, people. That's all it is. It's just a sport. It's just as fans, it's not a crime to want to see the fights that you want to see. That's not a crime. Out of all the things that can outrage you, out of everything that can outrage you, there's famine in the world, right? There's killings all over the world. People starving. We've got homelessness. There's a lot of things that should outrage you. Boxing fans saying, I want to see that fight, should not outrage you. If it does, there's honestly something wrong with you. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I have been consistent here for 7 years. Because when you're real, right? You don't have to worry about remembering what you said before, the message you had at one point, and I don't want to contradict myself, and this. Like, you don't have to worry about all that. You can just be who the fuck you are. I've been hammering home that message forever. And I've had fan bases come and go. Guess what? AJ's going to come and go. Boxing ain't going anywhere. DStyle's ain't going anywhere. Yeah, there's been a lot of You know, when Pacquiao was on top, there was a lot of channels that were hot because there were big Pacquiao channels, right? But as some fighters get hot, guess what? Eventually that fighter retires, or eventually he loses, and then he's gone forever. And all the defending you did, and okay, all the bullshit you said, and all that stuff, it comes back to bite you in the ass, right? In the end. In the end, it just comes to bite you in the ass. That's all it does. That's honestly all it does, right? I just want to see the fight. That's it. Is that too complicated? I didn't know that was a lot to ask. If you were to tell someone that doesn't watch boxing, right? Just a sports fan, like, hey, bro, I have a question. Whoa, what's up? Hypothetically, bro, if you had 3 undefeated heavyweight champions, like, I know you don't watch boxing, but do you think they should fight each other? Look, it doesn't take a rocket scientist. It really doesn't, right? What do you think they're going to say? Just take a while. What do you think they're going to say? This is how abnormal, okay, it is for the way a lot of boxing fans think. The problem is that they're in this little bubble and they don't realize it. You have to, like, get out of the boxing bubble once in a while, right? Try watching other sports just so you could understand. That's all, right? If you were to just tell that to someone, right? What do you think they're going to say? If you were to go next door and ask an old lady, okay? Go to a neighborhood somewhere and ask an old lady, ma'am, I'm sorry to bother you, but there's 3 undefeated heavyweight champions. Do you think they should fight each other to see who the best is? What do you think she's going to say? She's probably going to shrug and say, well, yeah. It doesn't. You can ask anyone outside of boxing. They're all going to say, yeah, they should fight each other, right? You really think they're going to say, I don't know, I mean, it just depends. You know, it's is it the right time? You know, is it like, we should let it marinate. Like, this is, when did, like, boxing fans become, you know, managers and advisors? And when did this happen? When did this happen? At what point did this happen? But anyway, those are my thoughts, guys. I really don't have much more to say, right? But just thought I'd throw these thoughts out there. I had these thoughts in my head, you know? That's all. Let's see. Man, I don't know what it is about my YouTube app on my phone. Every time I go to my videos, it always gives me an error every fucking time, and I gotta load it again. I don't know what the fuck that's about, but anyway. One, 2, 2, 4, 5, 2, 9 says, hey, D-Styles. Now it was 2003. What's up, D-Style? Man in Water, killing it, D-Style. What's up, guys? Red Fox, let's go, champ. Dwyer. Red Fox, told you it's another mate pack vibe. Something like that. But didn't Wilder have the world's greatest advisor during him on his path? Who's he knocking out, though? AJ's also more technically sound. You know, let's just see the fight, bro. That's all I'm arguing for. Red Fox, Ortiz, who Wilder was getting ready to fight, couldn't get Scott out there, and the Allen fight wasn't so great. And if Vlad's going to be called an old man, might as well call Ortiz one too. Well, that's exactly what I said, right? Now, I can't speak for anybody else. I can't. But I was never impressed with Ortiz. I'm just being honest, okay? And I think you're right. If Wilder would have beaten Ortiz, I don't think he would have gotten much credit for it. That's the truth. It would have been what I expected, to be honest. I expected Wilder to flatten him out. I'm just being honest, right? Yep. There you go. People have their opinions. Anyways, guys, that's all I have to say. I got to roll. I got to go. It's late. Okay, so I'm going to bed. I'm out.